Well, Delegate Barbie, you chair a committee that deals with the environment in the General Assembly.
Right.
What's your view on issues related to the environment?
Well, first of all, we're in a unique position in Maryland. We're the guardians of the Chesapeake Bay, which is the largest inland estuary, I believe, in the Western Hemisphere. It's one of the larger ones on Earth. And obviously, we negotiated with Governor Hogan to make sure that there were regulations for phosphorus management. Farmers are using chicken manure to fertilize their fields, and we have to scale that back in a sensible way. And fortunately, we were able to get the governor to do that. Also, we reformed the stormwater fee bill, what he called the rain tax, we called the stormwater fee. But we wrote a law that is not only better for the environment than the current law, which the environmental community is excited about. We wrote a law that the business community, the real estate community, really could support and get behind, because we want to create incentives for the real estate industry to build buildings that don't create stormwater runoff. We're creating economic incentives for them to solve the problem up front. And that kind of creative, working with the environmental community and with the business community to solve a problem, is what I've always been about.
And I know you spent several years on Ways and Means where you dealt with taxes.
That's right.
What will that experience do for you in Congress?
Well, I think it's important. Professionally, I'm an accountant, and there are very few accountants in the Maryland General Assembly and very few in the U.S. Congress as well. As an accountant, as a numbers person, I have the ability to look at policies from an angle that an attorney or somebody else might not be able to look at it from. I work very easily with business people, with advocates, and I can kind of tell what's going to work and what won't. Let me give you a specific example. I was one of the champions of the Renewable Energy Portfolio Standard, the idea that some percentage of the electricity we use has to be renewable. And the environmental community came to me as a sponsor because, as one of the people said, as an accountant, you'll be able to explain the math of this better than anybody else could. And that's a role that I fulfill that is unique, frankly, in any legislative body I've served in.
Do you have a view on education? I know Ways and Means, you dealt with a lot of issues concerning education. Is there anything that you'd like to share on that?
Yeah, two basic things. Number one, I'm very proud that in the state of Maryland, we maintain the funding so that we've built what is basically the best public school system in America. But the second point, and this is more relevant to the federal level, we have to refigure the amount of testing we do for our children. I think it's gone out of control. Well, not to say that the way I was brought up is the best way, but we didn't have this high stakes testing, and I turned out okay. Look at me, I ended up at Georgetown University with a degree in accounting. The thing is that this, I won't say it's a mania, but it is definitely becoming obsessive, this constant testing of students. I don't think it's good for students. I don't think it's good for teachers or the educational environment, and it's something that has to be re-examined.